The luminous station hung in the void like a diamond someone forgot to put back in its case. Brilliant, excessive, and deeply insecure about it. Every surface gleamed. Every arch and panel screamed wealth, prestige, and the desperate hope that everyone would behave. They wouldn't. This was where governments came when they wanted to pretend they were cooperating. Lieutenant Violet stood near the eastern entrance of the grand atrium, posture relaxed, uniform crisp, eyes sharp. 30 different species filled the space, each doing their best not to start an interstellar incident before lunch. Human security had a reputation, mostly decorative, until it wasn't. The summit was on its third day, and tensions were running higher than the station's artificial gravity. So, Ambassador Thea was somewhere in the crowd, smiling politely while being insulted in 8 languages. Violet admired him for that. The man had the patience of a saint and the survival instincts of someone who knew when to stand behind security. Apathetic, rumbled a voice like rocks grinding in a machine. Violet didn't turn. Commander Zoloth of the Kaharn Empire, 8 feet of muscle and scales, built like a biological battering ram, with a culture centered entirely around strength. The Kaharn believed that anything without claws, armor, or redundant organs was prey pretending otherwise. Humans fit that category nicely. Zoloth stood near the buffet because intimidation always happened near food, surrounded by other Kaharn warriors. "Look at them," he continued, gesturing toward Theo. "Soft skin, one heart, bones that snap, no regeneration, no natural weapons, an entire species designed to break." One of the Kaharn laughed. "Lose a limb and it's gone forever." "Imagine," Zoloth said mockingly, "a being permanently damaged." Violet kept her face neutral while mentally drafting an incident report she really hoped she wouldn't need. Across the atrium, a fell delegate, mantis-like and sharp-eyed, approached Theo. They noticed everything, including the Kaharn. "Ambassador," the Fel said smoothly, "finding the summit productive?" Theo smiled. "As productive as posturing allows." That was when Zoloth decided subtlety was overrated. He crossed the atrium in long strides. The crowd parted instinctively. "Ambassador Theo," Zoloth said, making the title sound like an insult. "Still pretending your species belongs here?" Violet shifted, angling closer. "You were here to discuss trade and borders," Theo replied calmly. Theo replied calmly. "I am not worth implies equality," Zoloth said. "Tell me, what does humanity offer that stronger species cannot?" The atrium went quiet. Theo met his gaze. "Innovation, adaptability, survival." Zoloth laughed. He reached for Theo's shoulder. Violet stepped in, smooth, casual, perfectly timed. "Commander," she said pleasantly, "the ambassador is needed elsewhere. If you'd like a meeting, I can arrange one." Zoloth looked down at her. "And you are? A station security?" He smiled. "What protocol do you imagine you could enforce against me, little human?" "Little human." Violet smiled back. "The one where everyone behaves professionally." Zoloth studied her. Then he grabbed her wrist. Hard, bone-crushing pressure, a demonstration he expected pain. What he got was physics. Violet moved instantly. Thumb into a pressure point, wrist rotated inward. Her body dropped and pivoted. Leverage did the rest. Zoloth hit the floor hard. The sound echoed. Silence followed. Violet controlled his arm with terrifying ease. "Huh," she said mildly. "Oh, would you look at that?" She applied just enough pressure to make the message clear. "Anyone else want to move?" No one did. "Here's the thing about humans," Violet said calmly. "All we're fragile. We break easy. So we learned something early." She adjusted her grip. Zoloth wheezed. "We learn leverage, weak points, persistence. We don't need to be stronger, just stubborn." She leaned closer. "Oh, we don't stop." She released him. Zoloth rose slowly, stunned. Then he laughed. Not mocking, genuine. "You put me down in seconds," he said. "How?" "I practice." "It was to learn." The galaxy noticed. By evening, the story had spread everywhere. By morning, Violet had a demonstration match. The gymnasium became an arena. Zoloth came prepared. So did Violet. They fought, strength versus precision, adaptation versus force. And when Zoloth overextended, Violet took him down again. "Yield," the crowd erupted. Then the Olmec spoke. "Crystalline, ancient, you frighten us," they said. "Not because you are strong, But because you do not stop, images filled the air. Humans surviving impossible things, fighting through pain, refusing to quit. You are persistence hunters, the Ilmet concluded. A collectively insane, Violet shrugged. A fair, Zala saluted her. Humanity is not weak, he declared. They are dangerous. Theo smiled. Trade talks resumed. The galaxy recalculated, and Violet filed the report she'd hoped to avoid. Worth it.